In this training video, I'd like to discuss ways you can communicate with both parents and students through using WISE. Here I am on a class, and I'm going to go ahead and on this sub menu right here, there should be a little button that says message. Let's click on that. So this is the messaging page. The first thing that you're going to be asked is for the what type of email or text that you'd like to send to parents. So in this case, the first option is blank. That means an open email that you can type in whatever information you'd want to send to the parents. Now there's some automated messages that are usually sent via email to parents to help them know where their students are at. So first is absent, if they've been absent on a particular day, or tardy. If a student has lots of absences, you want to send them an email of their total absences so that they know where they're at with regard to credit. And a similar message for tardies and a similar credit notice. So in this case, I want to teach you how to make a blank email or text. So let's go ahead and hit continue once we've selected blank. And what this page is showing you is a list of my 14 students here. I have the guardian contact selected. If I select students, it's a way that I could also message students. A little bit later in the video, I'll show you how to do that so you can contact students with one message to everybody at once. So here's the guardian contact. Now you'll notice there's three options: preferred, text only, and email only. Preferred means that the parents, when they register their students, they say whether or not they'd like to receive an email or a text when the teacher wants to contact them. So that's what preferred means. So in this case, there's two parents that want a text and the rest want an email. Text only, I'm going to click on that, means if the parents have provided their text number when registering, you can text the parents directly. So this is helpful if you want to get out a notification that class has been canceled the night before if there's inclement weather, something like that. You want the parents to be able to put in their text number at registration so they can do that. Now parents can update their contact information at the LDS Seminaries and Institutes app at myseminary.lds.org. If you want to send an email and not a text, the text limits you to 160 characters or letters. And so you can't send quite as much information. So if you select email only, it will email everybody that's provided an email. In this case, I have one student whose parents have not provided an email. So in this case, let's look at if I click preferred. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue now with preferred. And you'll see there's two options here. First, I need to provide the text for a text message to be sent. So for all the parents that chose text, this is what they receive, is whatever you type in here. Down here is the email. So the subject line for the email and then the email message there. Now, for instance, if I just want to cancel class, I can say that in a text and then I could email parents if I don't have a text number that way. It might not be sufficient just to email them because not all parents check their email on a regular basis. So I'm going to go ahead and hit back here. And I want to send an email because I want to talk about class and things that are going on in seminary. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue now that I've selected email only. And I'm going to go ahead and type in a subject line and an email. So I've gone ahead and I've typed in a message here that you might use. You can hit pause and you can read through what I've said here. So this is Seminary Week 11 update. I have told them where they should be in their reading. So far, they need to be to section 72 this far into the semester. I've said this is where you can go update your reading progress. The parents can do it for the students, and the same, the students can log in and do it. I've also provided kind of a plan for the week of what we're studying. And so I've said, parents, you might want to read about these things in a family study to follow along with them and to make sure that their students are reading along with seminary as well. This is an email. Now, if the parents haven't put in their email, they're not going to get this. But in this case, 13 of my 14 students do have an email put in. And if I hit send right now, 13 out of those 14 will get it. Now, I'm not going to hit send because I don't want to send that to my parents right now. But what will happen is you will receive a confirmation from WISE saying that your message has been sent. Now, as you get going, it might be helpful to get confirmation, to call a parent and say, hey, did you see my email? Sometimes they put in an old email when they registered their student, or they might not be receiving them. So you might need to check with those in the first couple of weeks of the seminary year so you can verify when you do send a message, they are receiving that. I'm going to go ahead and hit back here. And now I'm going to go to preferred again. And if I hit continue, I still have to place text information here. And so I can't really put all that information into a text. So I might say, so in this case I could put in, please check your email for some important seminary info. And then I need to make sure for any parents that selected text under preferred, I need to email this to them as well. So it's important to have a text number and an email address for the parents or guardians so that you can communicate effectively with them. One last thing I wanted to show you regarding sending messages to parents. Let's say you wanted to send a message just to 4 or 5 of them. What you can do here is if you uncheck this box, it leaves these folks unselected. So let's say you wanted to send a message to a particular group. And there you go. Those 4, if you hit continue, it would only be sent to those 4. If you want to send it to the entire class, you would make sure that top box is checked. So how does this work with students? I'm going to go ahead and touch on blank. I want to send a blank mail message to students. That means an open message. Now, if I click on students right here, this is my way to be able to text students and send a text to students or to send an email to students through Wise. And S&I employees have to use Wise to be able to communicate electronically with students through either text or email through Wise. I'm going to go ahead and click on students. And you can see here, only 2 of my 14 students have put in a contact information themselves of how they would like to be contacted. And in this case, they have elected for email down here. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get students to put their contact information so you can message them? Because you can send messages the same way I showed to parents to students if they put in their contact information. So what needs to happen is a student needs to know their LDS account username and password, and they need to log in to myseminary.lds.org. And once they get there, they need to click on this information icon, and everything's blurred out to protect the student here. But right now, they can go ahead and click on Edit, and they can choose text message or email. They can put in the country and the text number there. And once they hit Save, it will appear in Wise so that I can send messages to them. And so it's an easy way to send the same message to everybody at once. If you're not a full-time employee, you'll need to check with your priesthood the communications that have been approved within your stake, whether or not you could contact them via regular text messaging or not. But this way, through Wise, you can communicate directly with students.